tunawapatia growers sasa hivi kwa sababu unaona kama hao ni wagonjwa. Na kuku nyingi hapa sasa hivi tunazipatia growers kwa sababu inazifanya zinakuwa healthy.
It is evening hours, and for you to get into this particular location where Clinton has set up his poultry cage, you have to dip your legs into this disinfectant or rather sanitizer for you to get to see the chickens. Now, Clinton, after opening for us the door, we will go and see what happens in this room.
This corona, as much as people are crying, I want to tell youths, let's take advantage of our current free time.
Just a few meters from the main road in Nairobi's Eastlands area, we meet Clinton Osano Gekonge, a poultry farmer.
I'm a farmer in Nairobi, Kayole.
Clinton began an idea of poultry farming upon foreseeing tough times ahead at around December 2019, when the Chinese authorities notified the World Health Organization about the outbreak of a previously unknown pneumonia in the city of Wuhan, central China.
I started this thing after the coronavirus. I was much idle, so I thought of doing something. So I came up with an idea and I started farming. I started with 30 chicken, but today I have around 300 chicken.
On 12th March 2020, Kenya confirmed our first COVID-19 case in Nairobi. According to the Ministry of Health, the case was of a Kenyan who traveled back to Nairobi, returning from the United States of America via London, UK on the 5th March 2020. Since then, many cases have spread around the world like wildfire. But to Clinton,
Corona is here with us. History ya corona, nimesema history ya corona ni noma. Dunia mzima imewa-affect. Pia sisi imetu-affect kama vijana. But pia tuangalie it, let us look at it in a positive manner.
When the virus penetrated through the continent of Africa and cases were on the rise, learning institutions were closed down.
I cannot eat school now. I have to do something here. And that is why I came up with this idea. And I've employed around 3 boys who come and help me daily. And as much as I pay them little, that little is important to them.
Clinton admits that if not for poultry farming, his life would have long crumbled down. But thanks to his daring dream,
chicken requires too much care, because at times you find a chick which is sick, it does not eat. That chick is not going to die because it's sick, it's going to die because it's hungry. So you have to be very keen and notice a chick that is not healthy, and when it's not healthy you have to give it medication, and as far as you give it medication, you also need to give it food. Chicken is protein, and there is a danger of eating too much chicken. Protein is good for your health, but too much protein is dangerous to your health. That is why you see people running up and down, reducing their weight. So you have to be careful when eating chicken. Chicken lay different colored eggs because of various reasons. First, it's a breed. If you look at the layer's egg, it's different from kienyeji's egg. Again, another thing that's apart from a breed, you can find that the food that you give your chicken, if you don't give it vegetation, you'll find a different colored egg. So you have to also consider the meal. Meal also affects the color of the eggshell. The difference between brown eggs and white eggs is one. Firstly, there are 2 types of brown eggs. If you look at a layer's egg, it's always brown. At times, kienyeji eggs can lay brown eggs. White egg is assumed to be purely for kienyeji, but again there are some rare cases where you find a layer laying white egg, kienyeji laying brown egg. But again, at times kienyeji eggs produce brown eggs because of the kind of food that the kienyeji hen fed on. So food can play part in the cell. Chicken costs various prices. A 1-day-old chick costs 100 shillings. A very big old cock, a big cock, will cost up to 2,000 Kenyan shillings. So it varies with the size of the chicken. As from 5 months, a chick will start laying eggs. But again, it depends on the type of hen you have kept. Improved kienyeji will lay more eggs than the local breed that we kept at maybe up country. So it depends with the breed. A better breed will give you more eggs. A bad breed like the one we used to keep in up country will give you 15 eggs per month. So, but an improved kienyeji will give you more than 20 eggs per month. An egg can be produced without a rooster. That is one thing many people don't understand. But the problem is that egg will not be fertilized. So it will not, when you put it for hatching, that egg will not be hatched. So it's an unfertilized egg. Unfertilized egg is different because it cannot be hatched. So that is how different it is. So when you put it for hatching, it will not be hatched. So it's called unfertilized. It's even very cheap to sell unfertilized egg. It costs around 15 shillings, but a fertilized egg will cost around 30 shillings if it's very cheap, 30 shillings, because most of the people will buy it for hatching. You can buy fertilized eggs. Yes, don't go to a kibanda and buy those eggs and believing that they will be hatched. They will not be hatched. It's very difficult to get to know unfertilized egg. You will not look at an egg and say this fertilized, this not fertilized. You see, but if you put it for hatching, you'll know this egg was fertilized, this was not fertilized. Again, we look at the number of roosters that you have. The more roosters you have, the more probability of getting what? Fertilized eggs. If you have lesser roosters, then you'll get more unfertilized eggs. So unfertilized eggs are for consumption. That is the basically what you can do. Apart from consumption, you cannot do anything else with the unfertilized egg. People have various assumptions that if you put an egg through a light through it, you'll see something inside, and that egg is fertilized. But that's a myth. You'll not tell an egg is fertilized until you put it for hatching. If it's not hatched, that egg was not fertilized. So the probability of an egg being fertilized depends with the roosters, the number of roosters you have. For a chicken to begin laying eggs, a chicken may start around 5 months if it's an improved kienyeji. But the local breed that we used to keep, it may start laying eggs from 7 months. So it depends with the breed again. That's why I told you, when you start this farming, you have to consider the breed you keep. We have different breeds of chicken. We have layers, we have improved kienyeji, we have local breeds that we used to keep, even the improved kienyeji. We have the curry, we have broiler, we have Ken brew, we have so many breeds. So the breed you keep will determine how fast and how often your chicken will be laying eggs. I'll tell the best breed for you to keep is an improved kienyeji. But when you are keeping an improved kienyeji, I've told you there are so many types of improved kienyeji. There is curry, there is broiler, there is Ken brew. It depends on the environment. It depends on the purpose, you see, and the feeds, the consumption. So it varies. But improved kienyeji is the best. One thing people have never understood. An improved kienyeji is improved because, firstly, you have to look at the way it lays eggs, the meat, and resistance to diseases. It is purely for commercial. That is the only difference. It is improved. It is just kienyeji, but it is improved. So the nutritious value, it's the same. But the difference is that when it comes to resistance of diseases, the improved kienyeji is better. When it comes to egg laying, improved is better. When it comes to meat, improved is better. The question of keeping chicken in a cage or free range is a good question, but again, it depends on the space you have. You cannot cry for what you don't have. Use what you have. It is true that the free range chicken is the best way because it's cheap and everything. It's cheap to keep free range chicken because they eat so many things and you'll be giving them little feeds. But the problem is, do you have that space? If the answer is no, use what you have. Death. The greatest fear of this business is death. You'll wake up tomorrow, you find 10 chicks dead. You'll wake up another day, you find 5 dead. Again, diseases. You know, the problem is diseases. You wake up tomorrow, you need to buy an antibiotic. It requires 7,000 or 700 shillings. You don't have that 700 shillings. So if you don't buy that medication or that antibiotic, the probability of losing chicken is very high. So you'll lose many chicken because you lacked 700. So diseases and death is the biggest challenge of this business. In a bad month, you can make zero. In a bad month, you can make zero. This is because maybe it's a rainy season like we are. The hens are not laying. And in a good month, you can make up to 70,000 because you'll sell chicken, you'll sell eggs. Like I can collect 2 trays, 3 trays of eggs. And a tray goes for 900 shillings. So it depends with the month and the weather of that month. The formula of getting many chicks is one. Maybe when a hen is on the process of hatching, immediately that hen hatches, you put for it other eggs, fresh eggs, and it starts the process again for 21 days. And you remove those chicks, you put it somewhere else, and then you start giving them attention. Like they don't have a mother to look care after them, so you'll be looking after them. You'll be looking after them, and after those 21 days, the hen will lay other chicks. So you'll have that hen will have laid 2 times. Rather than 21 days, it will have laid for 21 first time and another 21 days. So that is 2 times, 42 days. The eggs for chicks to be hatched will be fertile depending on the number of roosters you have. So if you have more roosters, immediately that hen starts the process of hatching. It starts laying on those eggs for 21 days. After those 21 days, it will hatch chicks. Remove those chicks, put them somewhere else. You can put them in a box, then give them heat, and then they'll start the process of growing by themselves. Feed them, give them medication and everything. And again, after another 21 days, this hen will lay other chicks. So it will have hatched chicks twice. And hen does not count the days. The only thing that will remove that hen from the way it was hatching is the chicks, the sounds of the chick and the chick starting moving. So if it doesn't see the chicks, chicken can live as many years as around 5 years. But if you're doing chicken for commercial purposes, after 2 years, the production rate of that chicks becomes low. If it was laying eggs, the way it was producing eggs will change. It will start producing lesser eggs. So I believe the peak of that hen is around 1.5 years. After 1.5 years, then the production rate will be low, and that hen will not give you enough profit as it will have given you before 1.5 years. For young chicks, you need vaccine, you need food. Food, you start with chick mash. For vaccine, you need Newcastle, you need Gumboro, and you also need foulpox. So those are the 3 main things you need for your chickens. For big chicken, you need antibiotics. You need to have money for antibiotics. They'll get sick, so you need to have around every time it's an emergency fee of around 1,000 shillings because they'll get sick. In addition to food, you need around 1,000 shillings for that antibiotic. Having chicken will save you a lot of money. In addition to saving you a lot of money, it will give you a lot of money because if you have a chicken, you'll not buy eggs. Again, you'll get more eggs and you'll sell those eggs to buy something that you never had. You can also sell the chicken itself And as I told you, a chicken will cost up to 2,000 Kenyan shillings, so it will save you a lot of money. My advice to someone watching and who wants to venture into this business is that start. Do not fear, start. Even if you have one chick, start. 100 bob is enough to buy 1 day old chick. So don't say the problem is capital. Capital cannot be the problem. The problem is start. When you start, you'll grow. Like when I was starting, I was saying I started with very few chicken, but today I have over 300 chicken. But the greatest fear was, what if I lose one chick? So you can start with as less as 100 shillings. So do not wait for someone to give you more capital so that you can start. You can start with as less as 100 shillings and you can give it attention and it will grow. So don't yearn for what you don't have. Use what you have. You can get one chicken from Ushago and you can start from it with it. So don't fear starting. Mimi ningependa kuadvise vijana, especially time ya corona. We have an opportunity of doing what we couldn't do in our normal times. These are hard times and we have to live by these hard times. We have to be too creative so that we can survive this thing. It is affecting the world, so we have to do something.
With the increased rate of unemployment following the COVID-19 pandemic, Clinton has an appeal to the government.
For the government, I pray that the government can support the youths, especially during these trying moments. Ile pesa ya vijana itokeleze, vijana wafanye ma project, kuna wenye wako na ideas wasapotiwe. Hiyo ndio ninge advise gava. It's an opportunity we have to stay with our family members. It's an opportunity we have to invest. So as youths, let's take it as an opportunity to invest. There are no jobs. Let's create these jobs.
As Kenya marks 100 days of coronavirus today, Clinton is optimistic that the current state will soon change for the better.
After corona, we have new bosses. So let you be the boss after the corona. Apart from eggs and chicken meat, we can also get fertilizer, and we do sell fertilizer. Like you can see this bag of fertilizer. Our whole bag of fertilizer goes for around 300 shillings. So it's also beneficial, profitable. Once you sell this fertilizer, it will give you cash. Coached so many young youths like myself. I was coached by someone and I've coached so many people. So I believe this thing is about coaching someone else. I've coached a friend who is 500 meters away from this place. His name is Osano Gekonge. So he's a young farmer. Yes, he has around 100 chicks.
So is it called group?
1, 2, 3, 4.